Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to create your very own in-demand virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to number 47. How do I get experience as a virtual assistant?
We see this question come up time and time again over in the Savvy School free group, especially for those men and women that are new to the industry and they want to get started, and they probably don't have a lot of confidence in how they're going to do that and how they're going to get clients.
Because it's a bit of an unknown, isn't it? That what happens when you get a client? What do you do? I think the first, we're going to go through three options or three different ideas. The first two are not our preferred. The third one is definitely our preferred. We know that some people are going to want to do the first couple to get more comfortable and build that confidence. So what's our first one?
Our first one, it's the most obvious one. You want to look at either reducing your rate or doing pro bono work for somebody that you know, ideally.
Yeah, this is the easiest way to get the confidence, get a testimonial, a review, get the first client under your belt, is to do something for someone that you already know. It's the best way to find a first client as well, a paid client. But if you really feel like you have to get the first person to take you on to do a project for them or do some work for them, you could do it at a reduced rate or for pro bono for free for someone. But
Big
you
but.
must have very clear boundaries. You do not want to be advertising this openly to anyone. You want to specifically ask some people who you already know and say, hey, I'm keen to do a project or something for you so I can get some experience, I can get a testimonial. So it's in return for something. That's the testimonial, the review. They might share your content or talk about them on their social media or something like that. And you must have boundaries. So let's say you're going to do a website for someone or a logo, or you're going to sort out a database or something for someone, sort out someone's inbox. You have to have boundaries. What is the time frame? How many hours is it going to be? Where does it start and stop? What's excluded? What's included? Really have a think about those boundaries that you're going to put in place, because you do not want this to be the norm. You don't want it to be ongoing, that they then just call on you every time they want something done. Make it super clear and upfront, have that conversation about what it's going to involve.
Yeah, and if you're doing the reduced rate, when it comes to invoicing this client, this person, you know, whoever it is, you actually want to have it on the invoice really clear that it is at a reduced rate. You don't just want to put the reduced rate in that column and they think that that is your rate. You need to make it super clear you are doing them a really good deal here.
Yeah, so have your full rate and then take the discount off somewhere else on your invoice so that they don't get used to what your rate is, because they might start telling people too what that rate is.
Yes.
And then you get a referral. They've already been told what the rate is, and then you're just into that situation that you can't easily get out of.
Yeah, boundaries are so important. I learned the hard way when it comes to offering pro bono work. And this is not just when I was starting out. This is now. I try and take on a pro bono website job once a year for a charity or not for profit that I feel connected to in some way. But it didn't take long for me to realize that if you do not make it super clear of those boundaries, it will very quickly encroach. It will go over. The project's going to run. It's something that would normally take 2 weeks. Once I had lasted over a year. It stretched out to a year. That was a website job. It's just things that you don't even think could happen when you are doing things for free. Because as nice as the person is that you're working for, it could be your best friend, it could even be your dad, your grandma, somebody that you don't know so well. They could be the nicest person on earth. but because I think it's just naturally ingrained in us. If we're getting stuff for free, we just simply don't value it as much.
Absolutely true. 100%. People do not value what they get for free. So we would encourage you, if you're going to go down this route, to actually do a reduced rate rather than completely free.
Yeah, and as we said, do it for somebody you know. Do not advertise. It gives us the heebie-jeebies when we see virtual assistants, they've just launched their business, and then they're posting all over the show in online groups. Hey, I've just started out. I want to help. I want to help out as many people as I can for free. So DM me. Like, oh my gosh, you're of course you're going to be inundated with people that are going to be contacting you, but I can guarantee they're actually not going to be your ideal client. They're only contacting you because they think they're getting something for free. So chances are you're actually not going to get a long-term client out of this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And second option is to subcontract to an agency or another virtual assistant and do work for one of their clients so that you can get that experience, you can learn the ropes, how it works, and get that sort of experience under your belt so you can feel confident.
Yeah, we're seeing this a lot at the moment. Virtual assistants coming into the industry, they think they're coming in to start up their own business, very quickly get overwhelmed, and instead of joining us in the Savvy School, they decide that they will just subcontract to an existing virtual assistant owner or agency. Things to be aware of if you do that. I think be honest about the fact that you're wanting to work for this person while you gain some experience. That would be one of my tips.
Be totally upfront with where you're at, what you're thinking, if you still want to do your own business. And also remember too that this is actually a legitimate option for people to just subcontract and do that ongoing and never create their own virtual assistant business. So that's absolutely an option. We would encourage people to create their own business if they do have that desire to have that complete flexibility and freedom and control. If you're the right personality type, you've got the right drive, you've got the right financial backing to actually do that, 100% do your own business, absolutely. But subcontractor is definitely an option, and it could be a short-term option. So if you're wanting to do something where you just want to gain some experience and figure out how this all works, then absolutely you could do that as your first client.
It's a really good option. But number 3, this is our preferred option. If you're wanting to get, if you're at that point where you're thinking, I need experience as a virtual assistant to get me clients, our advice to you is to forget the first 2 things that we've suggested. You actually don't need experience as a virtual assistant. What you do need is experience and skills in the services you are going to be offering as a virtual assistant. That's the important thing. No one's going to care. A potential client is not going to care if you are their first official VA client.
No, not if you already have the experience. Like and this is why we encourage people to choose services that you already know, you already have the skills for, because then this whole like, oh, I need experience to feel confident, that goes out the window because you already have the experience in providing these services, potentially as an employee previously. You're still providing services. I'm doing that in inverted commas. It's still a service that you're providing, even though you're an employee. So now you just need to switch that and say, right, I already have that experience. Now I'm just going to do that for someone that I'm going to call my client rather than my employer. It's the same thing. It's you're still delivering the same type of service to that client. It's just that you do it in a different way because you are a business owner and it's through a company, your own company.
Yeah. I mean, Jo, you and I, this is how we both did it, isn't it? I think it can come down to your confidence. I think naturally both Jo and I are quite confident in our abilities and in our skills and always have been. And that helped with that. But I can tell you, I didn't even consider numbers 1 and 2 that we've just talked about as an option. I didn't even think it wasn't even in my stratosphere. Why would I?
Mm.
I'm in this for the ultimate freedom and flexibility. So that does not mean I want to work for somebody else, and I want to be earning money. So why would I be giving away my time for free when it's valuable?
Mm. So own it, own your experience, and know that that's actually what you need.
Yes.
That previous experience that you've had in a role delivering or learning those types of services you're going to provide. And if you're worried then about like, oh, okay, I'm going to own it. I've got that experience. I'm going to get a first client, but how do I deliver a service to them? Honestly, you will work it out as you go. And the best option that you can take at that point is to jump into the members club, because we have the exact templates, the process, the steps for how to onboard that client and how to deliver that service. It's all laid out there step by step. And you get access to Sam and I to ask your specific questions. You can do that one-on-one on email or on Facebook Messenger and ask your question. We can answer it for you. So absolutely, the support is there. It's about just putting yourself out there, owning your skills and experience that you've had previously, and getting that first client under your belt, and then you'll be away. So I really hope that helps. And I hope that you will now just know that you don't have to have experience as a virtual assistant. You already have the experience in you. Thanks to everyone for listening to this episode of the Sam and Joe VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the Savvy School website to check out the amazing members club and find more free resources.
You can find us at savvyschool.co.nz.